Hi, this is Majidoni. Got some comic reviews for you today. We have Uncanny Avengers number 3, Avengers 3, Wolverine and the X-Men 24, X-Force 1, and Justice League 16. I'm just going to get Justice League out of the way first, since it's the lone DC book. Now, overall, the Justice League with Johns and Ray's, it's a very well put together package in terms of the way it looks. It's very visual. There's some really nice panels that are going on in here. Good action sequences. But the one sad thing about this whole experience is what they're doing to Cyborg. Now, I remember a while back, Cyborg was like, hey, we need to elevate him to the forefront and make him actually an important character. Well, what have you done? He just sits in the Justice League Tower and he basically sits there until the Justice League get caught, and then he gets an upgrade so this way he can go save them. And I'm like, really? I mean, how does that really make him like a stronger character? And so that I found was rather disappointing. Other than that, this is basically going full, steam ahead with the war. You have the Atlanteans rising from the ocean. You have the Justice League captured. You have Cyborg calling in reinforcements. And we're building up towards the... we're starting at least for the final battle. Not the final battle, but, the big rescue and battle. Overall, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I think this is definitely one of the stronger of the storylines that they put out for the Justice League, and for that I'm really grateful for that, because it's keeping me really wanting to read this book and find the characters. But it's like, the thing is, it's Cyborg. He's the one he's the odd man out. I mean, I really like what they're doing with Aquaman, with Wonder Woman, with Batman, and how they interact with each other. I think that part's fantastic. They don't trust each other yet, but it's not that the Batman doesn't trust anybody mentality. It's, I don't really know you, distrust. And I think that part is good. I mean, it kind of makes sense for a new team to be like that. And it's like, I don't want to say it's refreshing, but it's just an interesting take on the old establishment. But they really need to bring Cyborg back in as a key character rather than Errand Boy or Monitor Patrol type thing. Because I think, you put him on the cover, but where is he? He's sitting in the Watchtower. And then he goes to get Dr. Chen. But it's a decent read, and hopefully this will end well. Okay, Uncanny X-Force number 1. This was unusual. And by unusual, I mean, if you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about in terms of the very last page. The art is not a representation of what you see here. It's more more traditional style. Now, there's some kind of a good moment here at the beginning with Wolverine and Psylocke, and about what's her place in the school and the future of X-Force. And then eventually, Wolverine's like, go read your email type thing, and she's like, am I going to get kicked out? Well, eventually she ends up going with Storm to a contact, which is Puck. And this whole interaction here with Puck and Psylocke was also really entertaining. And basically what's going on is there's a drug that's out on the market that basically makes you feel like belonging, like a part of a group, collective. And basically, while it makes you do stupid and crazy things, it makes you kind of fit into a hive mentality. So you're susceptible to mind control. So Puck discovers that Spiral's the one who's involved, and hence that's why Psylocke is here, because those two have a long, outstanding grudge. And so this is where the primary focus of the action is taking place. Psylocke is going after Spiral. Puck and Storm are going to the vault to get the drugs, to shut that down. So that part was it's, what it's doing is getting the foundation down for all the characters, all the players. But Phantom X is at the end, and there's a very, very unusual relationship going on with Phantom X. And also we get, as the cover suggests, Bishop is back. So it's starting to, this is, I think the way I look at it is, this is one of those, let's get everybody together, lay the foundation down for the story, so this way you know what the direction is going to be. But at the same time, I kind of hovered out of, I liked it, I was losing interest, and I liked it again, I lose interest. But then I'm really curious to see how Spiral is going to play in this book, since it looks like she's going to join the team, and how's Bishop going to fit into all this, because he's betrayed the X-Men, he's time traveled, now he's back. They've suggested that maybe he's changed, and how is he changed? So I really want to know how this is all going to play together. And that Phantom X relationship thing that's going on, I don't know. Part of me, I don't know. There's a part of me that just thinks, don't look behind the curtain, and you won't be horrified by what you see. But I think overall it's a good start. This is definitely not a book that, like, for an example, if you were a fan of the old X-Force with the Dark X-Force ones, with Wolverine and Dark Angel and the Remender one, this is nothing like that. So in a way, this is a good jumping on point, or as some people are going to look at it, as a jumping off point, because this is nothing remotely like Remender's run. And on one hand, it's good that it's getting this fresh start, but that Remender run was so good that it's kind of saddening to see this is what it turned into. But it is what it is, and I don't think anybody could even attempt to duplicate that run, and if they did, I think it'd be just a pale imitation. So Marvel's doing the right thing. It's just that hard to let go type thing. But I was pleased. Okay, Wolverine and the X-Men. Aaron is back on track with this issue here. Just to give you like an overview of what's going on and stuff, this is basically the issue of, okay, we had the circus and Frankenstein. We have some changes, in terms of, you have Storm now being the headmistress, and now what we want to do is lay the seeds for the future. And this is that transition episode, or sorry, issue. It's dealing with like relationships between Storm and Wolverine. Storm getting her hair cut. It has Brew. What's going on with him? And the one thing also that I thought was kind of bad was Jean Grey's here, but she doesn't look good. I mean, in all honesty, I didn't even know it was Jean Grey. Let me see if I can get the picture. Let's see. Well, yeah, here we go. See, I didn't know who that was. I had to actually read. I mean, now granted, you can put two and two together that it's Jean Grey just by looking at it, but I was like, that don't look like Jean at all. They should have made that hair, while it's orangish, they should have maybe made it a little bit more redder, or made her face look more like Jean. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of nice that they're still incorporating the old X-Men in this book, since they're supposed to be staying at the X-Mansion. And I don't know. It was a pleasant read, but it's nothing earth-shattering. If you were thinking about jumping on, this is the jumping on point, because from here we're going to start seeing new things happening. Also, they have the Kitty Pryde Bobby dating thing, and if you really think about it, Iceman is really old compared to Kitty Pryde. And granted, Kitty Pryde isn't no teenager any longer, but he'd be rocking some Cradle with that. Okay, now Uncanny Avengers. This was so full of wind that it was upsetting that it ended when it did. What we have is the Red Skull, he's going off to the city, and he's basically using his mind control powers. He's targeting mutants, and people are just attacking mutants right and left. And there's mass carnage and violence. The Uncanny Avengers appear. There's a little bit of, I guess you can say, a difference of opinion between Havoc and Cap, which I think is really good because Cap is the one who's normally given, the orders. And now he's letting Havoc lead the team, and Havoc's decisions are, in some cases, the exact opposite of what Cap would do. So you can see that internal struggle between the two characters. So what I'm really waiting for is that moment in time when Havoc finally gets his, acceptance as being the leader, going, okay, granted, while you might do things differently than me, at least you're a capable leader. And that's what I don't see right now in terms of what Cap's doing. Because he's just kind of like, okay, fine, you're leader, let's go. But the fight between the different Red Skull's, goons and the Avengers was decent. But what was really great was when Wolverine learns that the Red Skull has Professor X's brain inside of him, or part of his brain. That was the best. And once I read, everything was good up until that point. But then once that happened, that's when this thing elevated itself, and I was like, oh, this is what I need. And you just want Wolverine to gut the Red Skull so badly. And he did wound the Red Skull pretty well. And this was a win. I mean, Cassidy's art is really good with this. Granted, it's not what I would consider more of your, if you're gonna, he's not your top artist that you'd want to put on your big title push, but it's really, he does a lot of great things with this in terms of the action sequences, the team, the poses, when you have the team together. He does a lot of really good stuff, and a lot of it's subtle. And it's just really good, the Thor coming crashing down to the ground. It's all the little pieces that just make this so much better than the Avengers. And this is the one for me. If you were to compare these two, which one would you buy? I would buy Uncanny in a heartbeat, because this is the one where everything is fitting together. And it's just I want to see where this is going to go, especially when you're going to be dealing with Apocalypse later. So, you got to jump on this one. If you have to read one Avenger book, right now, this is the one to jump on. Fantastic. Now, Hickman's Avengers. This was building up to something. You had original Avenger team going up into space, Mars, getting trashed. Cap escapes. He summons the rest of the team, and you're just thinking there is going to be some whoop-assing going on in the garden. Let me assure you, the whoop-assing did not happen the way I wanted it to happen. Now, before I go into the spoiler, I will say this. The art is decent, and by decent I mean there's some strong points to it, but I think overall it's missing something. And I think part of it's in terms of some of the backgrounds. I think some of the backgrounds look kind of lazy. And the other part is some of the character designs I don't like. In terms of the villains, I think even when you look at when the heroes arrive, while it's a very dramatic pose, once they go from there, I think that some of the battle sequences aren't really that great. They're just basically, okay, we need to put people here and there, and we have to show that everybody's doing something. And I understand that that's a major problem when you have a team as big as that's up on the moon. I'm sorry, Mars. So I get that. But, there's just not enough love for the characters. You just see battle things like like this, and nobody gets to shine, really. I mean, there's a little... Captain Universe does get a moment to shine, and Shang-Chi gets to shine a little bit, but overall, there's not a lot going on. But again, I understand that you're looking at a huge novel to be able to do it proper with all these characters, and this is my problem with the book. Now, from this point on, there's spoiler. Okay, so only continue if you don't want to be spoiled. My problem with this book is the way it ended. This was a horrible, horrible ending. You have this guy who comes up, he basically is pretending to be God. He creates Adam, he sends pods down to Earth, and he's terraforming Earth as we speak. The heroes come up, the heroes do a decent battle. They actually turn the tide, they rescue the fallen heroes. Hyperion punches the Hulk. There's a good interaction between the Hulk and Dr. Banner with Hyperion, where Banner's going to get his face punched in a little bit. But then Captain Universe pops up, and then it's like, oh, I am so sorry. There's been a misunderstanding here. Maybe I might have overstepped my bounds, and maybe I shouldn't have sent those pods down to your planet. And how about this? We'll just call it even Steven. I'll just stay up here on Mars. We'll terraform up here, have fun, and I won't bother you guys down there. And that's the ending. That is just basically the ending. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? This is the ending of this build-up of this awesome team, of this big push of epic story. Now, granted, I think what's going on here is, because the way it's left, there's more. This is basically, I'm planting the seed now, and we're going to go our separate ways for a while, and something's going to occur, and we're going to revisit this. I get that. But at the same time, when you just basically just shake hands, have a picnic, and call this a picnic, please. Come on. Come on. This is supposed to be the flagship title. And this flag has some holes in it. You know what I mean? This just isn't... I don't think this is worthy of being the big Avenger title. I mean, if anything, this is far superior. It's succeeding on so many different levels. The fact that it wraps you into the story. Like, if you're an X-Men fan, it's like the Red Skull has stolen Professor X's part of his brain. And you have the Avengers side of the thing, where it's like, oh my gosh, Captain America's fighting, and he's fighting the Red Skull, you have Thor. I mean, this is the type of matchup that we wanted to see. We wanted to see the Avengers and the X-Men battle together, and then take on big, powerful foes. And it works. But in this case, what we have is, we have a hodgepodge group of heroes, which is nothing wrong with that. You have some Avenger types, you have some X-Men types, you have some new characters we've never seen before, or if we have seen before, we haven't seen them in a long time. And you give us this big, world-changing enemy. And what happens? They just call it a day. Lessons learned. Sorry about the inconvenience of killing some of your citizens down on Earth. We'll call it a day, and, maybe we'll have Starbucks Thursday. How does that sound? Are you kidding me? I'm at a loss. Anyways, I really want to know what you guys are thinking. Which do you think is better? The Uncanny or the Avengers? That's my vote. And I'll give you my code for this. I'll have more... I still have some other books to read, so I'll put some reviews up for those. Especially the Deadpool ones. I want to do a review for Deadpool Illustrated. So watch for that. And if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the Facebook link that's down there. And then I do the videos for Crunchyroll, and there's a link there for that as well. And that's a 0 between the 1 and the K. Alright, and I guess that's it for today.